CherishingFlo fam. If you are new to this channel, then stick around and see if you like me. And if you do, then subscribe and turn notification bell. And if you are not new to the channel, thank you for loving me as much as I love you. And let's get into this video. Today's video is a story time. This actually just popped in my mind just now as I was recording another video. And it's basically a story time about how I hopped from one relationship right into another within like a couple of weeks. And this is like the only time I've ever done that. And it was really interesting the way that it happened. For those of you that don't know, I was in a long-term relationship with this guy who was white. He was my only relationship outside of my race. And I was with him for 3 years in high school. And the last time that me and him broke up was when the relationship started to get really, really negative. And I'm not gonna get into like too many details, but it was basically just, we were at the point where he had a job, he had a car, he had a license, but he never came to see me, and I felt like I wasn't a priority to him, especially considering that he had no bills necessarily and no real responsibilities. He never wanted to go out with me, but he was totally okay with me coming to his house, and I felt like, why do you never want to be seen with me? Why do you never want to go out with me? He didn't come to my concerts. I sung a lot back then. He didn't come and support me with anything that I did, and this final straw was at my friend's birthday party. And at my friend's birthday party, it was her, I want to say it was like her 16th birthday. I don't remember, but it was one of my best friend's birthday party. You guys have seen her in a couple of my vlogs before. And and he was supposed to be my date to her birthday. It wasn't a party. It was actually just everybody going to the mall. Like, that's what I did in my hometown. On my birthday, her birthday, we would just go to the mall and like buy stuff, and sometimes not even buy stuff, and just like be in each other's presence and hang out at the mall. So we were going to the mall, and he was supposed to be my date. He was supposed to come with me. And I had already not seen him in a month. And I told him, I said, I haven't seen you in a month. You have a car, you have a license, you don't have anything else to do. It's Saturday. I want to see you at this mall. Like, you better freaking come to this mall. You better not stand me up, whatever. He said, okay, cool, I'll be there, I promise. Like, I mean, like, I was going off about, like, I was very adamant about how important it was that he came and see me, because we were already having issues. We had like, there's a whole thing. Like, if you guys saw my video about being the other woman, yeah, like, we had already had that whole thing. And I just felt like I wasn't a priority. So I was like, you're going to have to step up, good kind sir, because I need you to be here. Like, I need you to come. I need to see you, whatever. And, you know, you're in high school. Like, you want to see your boyfriend. And normally I'm not clingy. So if I'm starting to feel like I need to see you, we ain't seen each other in a grip. Period. Like, it had been over a month. Like, it had been a while. So we're at the mall. And when we get to the mall, like, this is, like, I'm talking about another ex of mine, kind of an ex, because the relationship really didn't last that long. And we're still friends to this day. But we're going to call him Tony. So I get there, and I immediately noticed Tony. I don't know why I noticed Tony. I just did. I thought he was cute. I liked it. He was like, really, like, he was like the life of the party. Like, he was like the goofy one, the funny one. I'm always drawn to the funny ones, y'all. It's always the goofballs that I end up liking. So he was the funny one. So I was kind of drawn to him, but I had a boyfriend. So I'm not making no moves. We're not doing nothing. But, you know, throughout that night, like, as the day was going on, I was calling my boyfriend. I didn't give him a name. We'll call him Donald. I was calling Donald. I'm like, Donald, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? And then 3 hours into the night, he sends me a text that says, I'm not coming. I don't know what it was about him saying that and me being there and I had talked about him while I was there with everybody. Like, oh yeah, like Donald this and Donald that and da-da-da, I love him. You know, we haven't seen each other forever, but blah, 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 blah. The only person that knew how frustrated I was with him for real was my best friend. And when he said that, like, something in me just clicked. Like, I was just over it. Like, I was so over it. I felt like I was the only person trying in that relationship. I was tired of being tired of his BS. Like, I was just over it. Like, I was like, you never, ever, ever show up for me. Ever. And this is a fact. Like, I hate to say it, but like, throughout me and his entire relationship, even though I was like supposed to be the one that was always breaking his heart, he never showed up for me for anything ever. If it wasn't convenient for him, like if he wasn't already there, he wasn't gonna show up. And that was like my biggest issue. And I just felt like I had a boyfriend and he was purposeless. So I know it may sound like not a big deal, but it was high school. And on top of that, in the long-term scheme of things, that was like his issue even in his next relationship. He never showed up for them. So basically, me and him, like, as soon as I got the text, I called him. And this is at the party. Now, mind you, little backtrack, during that 3 hours, I spent a lot of time talking to Tony. But only because there wasn't a lot of people there, like in our group. And Tony and me just really connected. Like, we had a good little vibe. We were making each other laugh and we were joking. But it was on some friendly tip. There was not a lick of flirting, not a lick. Because he heard me talking about Donald. He never tried to make a move. I didn't try to make a move, nothing. So I called Donald, and I simply, like, when he answered the phone, I heard noise in the background, like he was with his family, or he was with his friends, or he was with somebody. So I'm like, as soon as I heard that, I was kind of like, my body kind of like shut down. And like, I'm the type of person who like, eventually, like when I'm starting to leave a relationship, I will start to detach different parts of myself. Like first it'll be physical, then it'll be emotional, then it'll be mental. The mental is usually the last thing to, or the mental is one of the first things to go. So like emotionally though, something in me like clicked off. And I was just like, we are over. I am done. I am tired of asking you to be someplace, you telling me you're gonna show up, you telling me you're gonna do this, and then you just not show up. You literally ditched me at a public event where people knew you were coming. Like you literally like left me high and dry so you can go eat some steak at your daddy house who you see all the time. Like I just don't understand. And you have a car, there's no excuse. It's not like you couldn't get here. You literally chose not to get in your car and come. So then he's on the phone and he's doing what he always did, which was begging me not to break up with him. No, don't leave. I love you. I did this for you. I did that for you. I said, all you did was get out of your own way. Like, at the end of the day, you do not show up for me in this relationship. Like, you try to make yourself out to be the victim because you had a girlfriend one of the times when we were getting back together, and try to make it seem like, oh, I got in the way with that. If I really got in the way, why did we end up together? It was because you were playing the both sides. You were making it seem like I was being a homewrecker, when really I was the home. I was already there and you were already flirting with me. You never stopped treating me like your girlfriend when you started dating that girl, and I didn't know about that girl. You lied to me about that girl for months. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. We're not gonna talk about that. Y'all saw the other woman video. If you didn't, go watch that video after this one. So he tried to play the victim as if I was the issue and lied. I mean, to this day, he lies about that situation. And I just got tired of feeling bad for leaving when I got tired of him treating me badly. Like, whenever I would break up with him, it was usually because he did something. He would do something to hurt me, or to that was really messed up, or something would happen, and I just didn't want to put up with it. But then he would always give me like this, he was really good at being sad, being like a sad little puppy. Like, he was just so emotional and so heartbroken, and I would always fall for it. But this time I was like, no, screw your tears, sir. Like, I'm over it. I start crying at my best friend's birthday celebration. And my best friend is like consoling me, and I'm sitting there with my best friend, and then I look to my left, and Tony is right there. And Tony is like sitting there like, well, he's stupid and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, and I'm looking at Tony like, but I didn't want to react because, you know, I just broke up with him on the phone, and I was actually really hurt. So, you know, the night goes on, I stop crying because Tony's making me laugh. Like, Tony's a whole class clown, so he's cracking me up. And so as we go through the night, we're going through the mall or whatever, and me and Tony are just talking, laughing up. Next thing I know, at some point, me and Tony are in another, like, are away from the rest of the group. And we turned around and we're just like, what happened to everybody? And he was like, did we really like end up over here? Da, 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 da. And it was kind of interesting how that happened. And we were just like, oh, okay. So I don't know how we ended up with each other's number. I don't actually remember exchanging numbers. I don't know if one of us got it from Jazzy or what. I don't know what happened. We ended up with each other's number, and we were texting, like, on some friendship type stuff. Like, we were literally just, you know, talking, texting, ha ha ha. Her birthday is November 15th. And me and him were talking from November 15th until December the 23rd or the 24th. And the only reason I remember that is because it was right before Christmas. Like, literally right before Christmas. So, and, you know, I remember my best friend's birthday. So, like, so that's how long, like, our talking situation went. But the way that it was made out to be, which is one of the reasons why I titled the video what I titled, was that we basically started dating like the day after the party. And we didn't. We basically were just communicating and kind of semi-flirting a little bit. After like a couple weeks, it turned into flirting, and, you know, putting, like, he was flirting with me and calling me cute and stuff. And I was like, oh, you know, thanks. And we started dating towards the end of December. And our relationship didn't last long, like I said, and not because, like, I did him wrong or he did me wrong. It was just I was really childish and immature, and I just didn't really want to be, we didn't really see each other. He got grounded a lot, and so we also, like, went through long periods without talking, and I just was not built to be in a relationship like that, I guess. I don't know. There was a lot of immaturity on my side, which is why the relationship ended. But not because necessarily because we didn't like each other, because there was hard feelings or anything negative happened. But and we still, like, to this day, me and that nigga are cool. Like, we're cool. Like, I have his number, he has mine. We're cool. Like, we talk to each other. We friends. Like, him and my boyfriend, they cool. Like, you know, we're good. We only dated for a few months, so, like, you know, it's whatever. But that situation really got blown out of proportion. And I remember there was, like, an entire rumor. People were going around at my old school, which was the school that he went to. that I broke up with Donald and started dating Tony the next day. And I remember people Donald being like, you claim you love me, but you were with a new dude the very next day and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. But I did meet him at the party. Like, the guy that I started dating, it was only weird because I met him at the party that I happened to have broken up with you. Like, if you had showed up, though, it never would have happened. But, like, so yeah, that's the story. That's what happened. And that's how I ended up going from one relationship to the next. And to be honest, like, in most of the time when I ended relationships, my next relationship wasn't far after. And not because I ever searched. I never once looked for a boyfriend. This is like the honest to God truth. I've never been like, oh, I'm tired of being single. Never. I've always enjoyed my singlehood. Always. It just so happens that the next guy would come around, and the next guy, every guy who I would end up dating had put in some sort of actual effort to get me to go out with them. Like, it wasn't like I would be like, oh yeah, you cute, and I'm flirting. No, it would be like him pursuing me for a time. And usually there was a friendship first. Like, this is like always, I always end up in a relationship with somebody who's my friend. And it would be like they would be flirting and they pursue, and they would be the ones to be like, oh, I want this from you, why don't you give us a try, blah, 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 blah. And eventually I'd be like, okay, cool, if I started to like them back. And that's how my every relationship, including Donald, started out. Except for like with Tony, that kind of just happened. I don't know how that happened. It just did. We just liked each other, I guess. We were like 16 or 17 at the time, I don't know, and we just, you know, whatever. But I think I might have been 17. Was I 17? I think I was 17. But yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. That was the story. And I will say this. I know, like I just said, that all of my relationships are short-lived, like between relationships. But after my last ex and before my current relationship, I was single, what I consider to be single. Because I don't consider relationships that last like a month to be a relationship. So I was basically single for like a year and a half, I want to say, before I got into my current relationship. And that single, I never once felt like I didn't want to be single during that time. I enjoyed my singleness. Like, being single is fun. It's a good time for you to spend time with yourself, get to know yourself, enjoy being with yourself. Like, I never feel lonely just because I'm not in a relationship. Like, I don't feel like that's healthy. So and I also feel like when you're not so pressed about being in a relationship, that's when you find one that's really good for you. So that little tidbit is just a little extra something. If you made it to this point in the video, then leave a heart emoji in the comment section down below. If you have not already, then subscribe and turn notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And follow me on social media. CherishingFlo_ on Instagram, and CherishingFlo on everything else. I love you guys ever so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.